automatic bartender, we have a setup of 4 Arduinos running it. Our first Arduino is in charge of input, our second Arduino is in charge of the track, third Arduino is in charge of the lifting mechanism, and the fourth Arduino just makes the bartender look pretty with lights. And so our first Arduino is the input. It has an LED display, has up button, down button, enter, and exit. And so once the user picks a drink with the up or down, they press enter, and this first Arduino is going to send a signal via serial communication to the second Arduino over here. And this Arduino is going to be in charge of processing which bottles are required depending on the drink chosen, and then moving the servo and having it spin so that the platform moves to the correct location. Once the platform's in the correct location, this second Arduino is going to send the signal to the third Arduino, and the third Arduino is in charge of this mechanism, correct? So what's going to happen is, as soon as this receives a signal, track will stop moving, this mechanism will lift up, stay for 4 seconds, and the liquor will be dispensed into the jar. And once this is complete, what's going to happen is this third Arduino is going to send a signal to the very first Arduino, and the very first Arduino will pass on the signal to the second Arduino that the track should begin moving again. And that is our basic setup with our serial communication going back and forth between the 3, and the fourth Arduino just flashes lights.
When we designed our automatic bartender, we had to come up with a framework. So we had to consider all the track systems, all the dispensing components, and all the weight we had to handle with. So our frame has to be strong enough to support the weight, considering we're going to be handling about 4 bottles, which weighs about 20 pounds. So what we did here was we created a T-shaped wooden base with fiber wood on the bottom for a heavy support base. And then we have a piece of plywood that holds another piece of plywood inside it by creating a sliding system we have inside. Within that sliding system, we basically allow the dispensing mechanism to be raised up anywhere from 1 feet to 3 feet high. So that way you can adjust the size of the glass that you have. And we create a locking mechanism that allows us to lock the backsplash in place.
For the alcoholic bar dispenser, we have used a liquid dispenser which, when we push up, dispenses liquid inside the glass. For that to be possible, we have created a mechanism which has 2 aluminum rods attached to the platform, controlled by a servo. But the main part of the mechanism is a 3D block, which is pushed upward by 180-degree servo with enough torque that it creates a pressure when pushed up, dispensing the liquid out in the glass. After the block has been pushed up, we want it to be freely pushed down. For that to happen, we have created grease. We have put grease inside the rod and the block, making it free to move up and down.
So for the automatic bartender to work, we had to implement a track system. What the track system is, it's basically 2 C channels. In between these 2 C channels is a platform that holds the cup. What powers the platform to move back and forth is a continuous servo that's attached to a threaded rod and a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. And in between the continuous servo and the threaded rod is a coupler that attaches both, allowing it to move back and forth. And as you move the platform back and forth, it will move to different locations on the track for liquid to be dispensed onto the cup.